Hey Cowboys Nation, let's go for another round of news from America's team. Watch until the end so you don't miss any news and sign up to stay tuned for everything that comes out about the Cowboys.
The Dallas Cowboys may be interested after all in the services of a recently released four-time Pro Bowl running back. As reported by Josina Anderson of CBS Sports on Wednesday, January 3, the Cowboys will consider potentially signing running back Dalvin Cook, who was waived by the New York Jets. Fast update. My understanding is that the Dallas #Cowboys will also consider potentially adding Dalvin Cook, writes Anderson. Still evaluating. We'll see where other interest could also develop. The report is in contrast to Nick Harris of the Cowboys' official website's take on whether or not Dallas would pursue the veteran back. Harris does not believe that Cook would be a schematic or roster fit for the Cowboys. Just my opinion. Don't think there is a fit for him in Dallas both schematically and roster-wise, Harris wrote in a January 2, 2024 message on X. Cowboys kicked the tires when he was released by the Vikings and didn't pursue. I don't expect anything different this time around, nor do I think they should do anything different. Why Cowboys signing Dalvin Cook makes sense. The Cowboys have been mentioned as a potential landing spot for Cook for a variety of reasons, with one of them being their lack of production at the running back position. During Tony Pollard's first season as the team's starting running back, he has averaged just 4.0 yards per carry, which is far less than the 5.2 yards per carry he averaged last season. Furthermore, he has not topped 60 rushing yards in his last 4 outings, averaging just 3.1 yards per carry on 49 rushing yards in the team's Week 17 win over the Detroit Lions. Dallas' primary backup is Rico Dowdle, who has averaged just 3.9 yards per carry and actually missed the Lions game due to an ankle injury. In other words, the Cowboys could benefit from the addition of one of the more proven backs in the league. Although Cook has had a career-worst year this season, averaging just 3.2 yards per carry, some of that lack of efficiency has to do with playing for the Jets. The Jets' offense is one of the worst in the NFL, ranking 29th in points per game and 24th in rushing yards. During the previous season with the Minnesota Vikings, Cook averaged 4.4 yards per carry while posting 1,173 yards, the 6th highest total in the NFL. It was his 4th consecutive season with at least 1,000 rushing yards. Dalvin Cook previously intrigued by idea of joining Cowboys. Secondly, Cook previously showed interest in joining the Cowboys during the trade deadline earlier this season, according to a previous report from ESPN's Jeremy Fowler. Cook was intrigued by potentially playing for Baltimore or Dallas, I'm told, though neither team ever really entertained the perceived positional need at the deadline, Fowler wrote in November. Cook just wants to play, and maybe New York can still help him with that. If Cook were to join the Cowboys, he would immediately provide a boost to their stagnant rushing attack. They rank 20th in yards and 17th in yards per attempt, and would give Pollard a much-needed complement in the backfield. Any team claiming Cook by the deadline on Thursday will owe him $388,888 for Week 18, even though he likely wouldn't be ready to suit up for the regular season finale. However, he would be ready for the Cowboys' playoff run. If Dallas is desperate for a boost to their backfield, it's hard not to consider signing Cook. Blockbuster proposed trade would send Stefan Diggs to Cowboys for 2024. The Dallas Cowboys could be an ideal offseason landing spot for one of the top receivers in the game. As part of a list of proposed trades from Bleacher Report's Alex K., a trade scenario would see the Cowboys land Pro Bowl wide receiver Stefan Diggs from the Buffalo Bills in exchange for 2024 first and third round draft picks. While the Cowboys aren't lacking in featuring a true number 1 receiver, CeeDee Lamb is one of the top receivers and just broke single-season franchise records for receptions and receiving yards. They could use more top-heavy depth behind Lamb, as K argues. Despite Lamb's dominance, the Cowboys aren't even a top 5 total offense heading into Week 18. One of the team's few deficiencies on that side of the ball is at the number 2 receiver spot, a hole it should look to plug as soon as possible, K wrote. Dallas attempted to rectify this issue by becoming the latest team to trade for Brandon Cooks back in March. While Cooks has managed to stay relatively healthy, he has only mustered a pedestrian 618 yards on 48 receptions. Why Stefan Diggs would be perfect running mate for CeeDee Lamb. In fairness, the Cowboys are still an elite offensive unit, ranking 6th in total yards, 4th in passing yards and 3rd in points per game. However, adding a legitimate receiving option who is arguably just as good as Lamb would give Dallas the top receiving duo in the NFL. While much has been made of Diggs' up and down season, he has just one touchdown reception over his past 7 games. He's still having one of the best years of any wide receiver, posting 100 receptions for 1,096 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns. Diggs ranks within the top 10 in both receptions and touchdowns. According to Pro Football Focus, Diggs still has posted a stellar 80.5 offensive grade this season. While it's a clear decline from the 90.1 offensive grade he posted last season, he still ranks 19th among all receivers. Why Stefon Diggs' trade won't be easy to pull off. Diggs still has 4 years left on his contract at nearly $70 million in base salary owed. He's owed at least $18 million in salary in each of the next 3 seasons. That's also not including potential per-game roster and workout bonuses that he would also be due. Furthermore, the Bills would absorb a massive cap hit, over $31 million in dead cap money, for the 2024 season if they trade Diggs before June 1st. However, if they trade Diggs after June 1st, the dead cap hit for the 2024 season is just a shade under $9 million. While the contract is fair considering Diggs' production and status as a 3-time Pro Bowl receiver, the Cowboys may be hesitant to pair the highly paid Diggs with Lamb, who is on the verge of signing a huge contract extension himself. Lamb is still under his rookie deal and will play under an $18 million option for the 2024 season, with over-the-cap giving his contract valuation, based upon his play this season, nearly $26 million per season. Furthermore, the idea of any Diggs trade would have to be as a result of the veteran receiver basically forcing himself out of Buffalo. It's been no secret that Diggs has previously voiced his frustration regarding his role in the offense. If the Bills have another quick exit in the playoffs this time around, this may finally lead to Diggs wanting out of Buffalo. This is a trade that makes sense as far as on-the-field fit, but the salary gymnastics needed to make this deal a reality is something that may prevent it from happening. Cowboys' new roster move will likely end young RB's season. The Dallas Cowboys are making changes to the 53-man roster as they prepare for their final regular season game of the season. The final game against the Washington Commanders is an all-important one, but they will be without running back Deuce Vaughn. Vaughn, a rookie selected in the 6th round of the 2023 NFL Draft, made minimal impact. Now, he is being put on injured reserve and will be sidelined until, at best, the Super Bowl. The Dallas Cowboys activated DL Viliami Fehoko from reserve, injured on Wednesday, the team's official PR account wrote on X. The club also placed RB Deuce Vaughn on reserve, injured. Cowboys.com writer Patrick Walker then clarified Vaughn's window in a follow-up tweet. The two swap roster spots and Vaughn is out a minimum of 4 weeks, meaning he wouldn't be available again until, unless Super Bowl, Walker wrote on January 3rd. Essentially, the Cowboys would have to make the Super Bowl just to potentially have Vaughn available. Even then, it's possible they wouldn't activate him given that Dallas used him sparingly this year. Meanwhile, Fehoko, a 4th-round pick out of San Jose State, is a rookie still looking for his first appearance in an NFL regular season. Vaughn's first NFL season. There was a lot to like about Vaughn coming into the 2023 season. Besides the feel-good story about playing for his dad and Cowboys scout Chris Vaughn, Vaughn was a star at Kansas State who totaled 2,962 rushing yards and 27 touchdowns over his final 2 seasons in Manhattan, Kansas. But collegiate accomplishments did not immediately translate to NFL success. Vaughn took 23 handoffs for just 40 yards, a rushing success rate of 8.7%. For comparison, the rushing success rates of Dallas running backs Tony Pollard and Rico Dowdle are both in the 40s. That being said, he was a bit more useful as a receiver, making 7 catches on 7 targets for 40 yards. It's far from ideal, and there's a reason why the Cowboys activated him only for 7 games. It will be interesting to see if the team rolls with him in 2024 or releases him after a discouraging rookie season. Could Cowboys pursue Dalvin Cook? While the team is putting Vaughn on the shelf, the New York Jets made waves by releasing Dalvin Cook on January 3. Cook is a four-time Pro Bowler who found it difficult to make the move from the Minnesota Vikings to the Jets. Dallas has been speculated as a potential landing spot, but Cowboys.com writer Nick Harris said he didn't think it would happen. Just my opinion, don't think there is a fit for him in Dallas both schematically and roster-wise. Harris posted January 2 on X, Cowboys kicked the tires when he was released by the Vikings and didn't pursue. I don't expect anything different this time around, nor do I think they should do anything different. Cook appears to be a far different player from his dominant years with the Vikings, but maybe he just needs a change of scenery. Either way, Dallas has the opportunity to reinforce their RB room right before the playoffs.